A while back, I had created a new website and I wanted to share it with people, but I have a problem. Who do I share it with? Twitter? Don't have any followers. Facebook? Don't have any friends. Family? They're tired of seeing my websites. Sure, I could post it on Hacker News or Reddit or some link aggregator, but that has one of two problems. First, nobody pays attention. Second, if people do pay attention, maybe the post gets popular for a day. Get a burst of traffic all at once, which dwindles, dies down to nothing. Before you know it, you have no visitors to your website. What I want is not a burst of traffic, but I want a steady trickle of traffic to get exposure to users for a long time. Then it hit me. StumblingOn. You remember that old website? Probably. If you don't, it's basically a website with a button on it that lets you stumble onto some random web page. Perfect, I thought. I'll go to StumblingOn, submit my website there, and then random people will just come to my website over time. Sounds ideal. But there's a problem.
The problem is that StumblingOn has moved to Mix, whatever this is. Mix is some kind of social network, it looks like. Either way, it's certainly not the kind of click button, get random web page that I was hoping for. Well, I've always thought that if you need something and it doesn't exist, then you should build it. Maybe other people will benefit from it as well. So I threw together this website, StumblingOn. You may notice the name is something of an homage to Stumble Upon. This website basically just has a little bit of text here at the top. The text, to be honest, is mainly there so Google will index the page and so that the website may be able to show up on a Google search somewhere. I figure most people will probably be able to figure out how to use the web page even without this explanatory text. It's pretty simple. You can stumble onto a random website. Click the stumble button, you get a random website. You can submit your own websites. So we could submit example.com and it'll get reviewed by me and approved or not and added to our index. We've also got this history here where we can see all the websites that we've stumbled upon and we can like them if indeed we do like them. A couple other features to StumblingOn. One is we can see the metrics page. And two is that we can see the API underlying StumblingOn. So the API is just the functions we need to get this page working. We can interact with them here on the API page. And the metrics page is just going to show us how many people have been using StumblingOn. I wrote it just to show us in the last 6 hours. So we can see, these graphs are obviously pretty terrible. I didn't spend a lot of time on the entire website, and I spent much less on the metrics page, but we can see that actually some people are using it. Each one of these bars represents the number of users in an hour. So we've got 2, 3, whatever, a few people every hour, basically. The number of likes, that corresponds to that heart button I was just clicking. It'll take it a little while to load the metric, so it hasn't gotten the like that I just clicked. Then we can see the number of stumbles, the number of times that people click on the stumble button every hour. So, 30 stumbles an hour for good hours. And I'm recording this a little bit late in the day. But the takeaway from the metrics page is that people are using the site. When I looked at the metrics on my web page, I found about 3,000 people a month are using StumblingOn. And my first thought was, wow, that's pretty good. I'm surprised 3,000 people a month are using this. 3,000 unique people are using it. And my second thought was, wow, that's pretty bad. I've got this super basic site here. That's obviously pretty rough. And people are using it. So I think I can do a little bit better to improve the site. So I made some goals for myself to improve the site. First goal, obviously, is adding an ad. Hey, if 3,000 people a month are going to view the website, possible we can make some money off of it. I don't think of that as purely greedy, though of course I would like to earn money. I think that would be interesting. I also think of it as the website costs money to run, and if StumblingOn could earn enough to maintain the server that it runs on, then that would be a nice win for me. The second goal for the website is to better expose the history and the like button. So if we flip back to StumblingOn.com, you can see that the history button is hidden by default. Your history is hidden by default. And most people aren't clicking the like button. I know the metrics page only shows the last 6 hours, but even if you were to extend this back days, often many days go by without anybody ever clicking the like button. So what I want to do is better expose the like button, make it more obvious that this thing exists and that you can click on it. Yeah, that's another goal for my redesign of the StumblingOn website. And then 3, I want to add some social element. I have seen some feedback from users of the website who say that what they really liked about StumbleUpon was the social element to it. And to be honest, I don't remember any social element to stumble upon, so kind of at a loss for what they're talking about. But I want to try to address it anyway by adding some social element. And, we could probably add an additional goal here that would be something like, make it look a little bit better. I'm not an expert at making websites look good, so it's not going to look fancy by any means, but I think I can improve the look at least slightly from its current appearance. So here we are, the redesign. We're going to keep the big stumble button. Obviously, that's the main way you interact with the website, so we'll keep that up top. And it will still take you to a random web page. Your history, like I said, is always going to be visible. So you can see, I was just at soda private void. Stumble onto something else. It's a GitHub page. I don't know why I included GitHub pages in the stumbling index, but I'm sure it's an interesting one. And yeah, you get to see all these websites that you might be interested in. The heart button, the like button is a little bit bigger. If you mouse over it, it'll move a little bit to show you, hey, you could click this. And I think the fact that you're always seeing it will encourage people to click the like button. Yeah, we've got the opportunity to have some kind of social engagement. What I've done is I've added this talk link for every history item. So for every URL that you visit, you also get a talk link. And what talk does, rather than create my own social experience or my own commenting or chat room or something, the talk link just takes you to the Twitter search for the URL that's associated to the talk link. So you can see what everyone has tweeted about, pctlabs.com tutorial 1. That's not a great example, but you can see, what people have tweeted about whatever this website is. Nobody. That's an even worse example. How about this GitHub page? Yeah, see, so now you can see people talking about that GitHub page, and if you cared, then you could, chime in and talk to them too. But of course we don't. So that's history. It includes the social aspect to satisfy that goal. The fact that the like button is always visible is hopefully going to satisfy my goal around getting more people to getting more people to click the like button. I see now there's a small UI bug. Trust me, this website is very well tested other than this UI bug where my about text is going to run off the screen. I'll just adjust that slightly while I talk here. Yeah, so we've got the about page, which is going to maintain the text telling you how to use StumblingOn if you need that hint. Which I expect most people won't, but it will also provide some text for Google to index and hopefully get us to turn up in some search results. Follow development on YouTube. This link will just link to the YouTube channel where you're currently watching this video. Metrics link, we're maintaining that. The API link, and I went ahead and put a GitHub link here so that we can just find the source code for the StumblingOn, forgot the name of my own website, for the StumblingOn webpage. So it's a pretty simple React app, and we can go more into the details of how this works later, if anybody turns out to watch this YouTube video. So yeah, that's the about column. The add column, as I mentioned, that's the first goal. Here, basically, we just say you can join crypto.com with the referral code. I'm satisfied by the ad in that it's not obtrusive. It's simply plain text. And it's nothing more than a link. There's no analytics or tracking or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure crypto.com has their own analytics and tracking, obviously, but nothing on my website. Yeah. So, the one other major change is we made it a little bit easier to tell what happens when you submit something. So you can submit your website, and you can see the status if your website has already been submitted. Yes, I've already rejected google.com. If you submitted a real website, then it would go into the submission queue with the status pending, and I would get a chance to reject that submission. Anyway, I think this is the redesign 1 of StumblingOn. I think it looks a little bit nicer, and I hope it'll be more useful, and I hope it'll get more people to click the like button. So if you're interested in my saga of improving this website, you may want to subscribe. I also tend to look at leak code problems and generally just do things that I'm interested in while programming. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, go ahead and subscribe.